Welcome to Hamer Reviews. My name is Christopher Hamer and today we're doing an unboxing and review of the Manfrotto Professional CFExpress Type B memory card reader. Now, CFExpress Type B memory cards have become pretty prolific on the mirrorless scene. We've seen more and more cameras using them as we're shooting at higher frame rates and indeed shooting video at higher resolution. Those CFExpress Type B memory cards have become pretty crucial due to their extremely fast read and write speeds, and as a result, we also need the memory card readers to go with them. Now, I've had a number of CFExpress Type B memory card readers from very cheap at around £30 to what I would call quite expensive at over £100. This is the very middle of the road at £46. So Manfrotto is definitely offering this at a pretty competitive price point. Now, before we get into very deep specs, I have to say I really like the black and red design of this. I think it's quite eye-catching. And when I just take it out of here, I think they've done a good job of just making it look a little bit different to all the black ones on the market. It has a rubber cover to protect the port where you slide the memory card in on the outer side, so you can close that up nice and easily. And what you'll notice immediately when you pick it up is it is metal construction, which is really good and really important because CFExpress Type B cards get really hot. And as a result, you also want a memory card reader that can dissipate some heat, so them being made out of metal works well for that. In this case, I think there's also some open slots inside here where you see the cooling sort of fins, because I noticed that there's a flashing white light when you have the memory card inserted, so clearly it's a little bit open as well, so you get some airflow, which is good. It means your memory card isn't going to get too hot. Now, inside the box, you get a little manual on a sheet of paper. You get the USB-C to USB-C cable and USB-C to USB-A cable. With this memory card reader being USB-C 3.2, it means you can actually get up to 10 gigabits per second, and that actually starts to make the cables quite important. Now, despite USB-C being a bit of a newer cable, which is a good thing with higher throughput speeds, you can actually still get some USB-C cables which are designed mostly for charging, and as a result, they don't have a very high data transfer rate, so you might find yourself limiting speed that this particular card reader can handle if you're using one of those cables. So do be sure to double check which ones you're using, or perhaps best, just use the ones that are included in the box because they're perfectly fine and they're not too long and not too short, which is nice. For £46, to be honest with you, I thought this is actually very good value for money. As I said, I've spent a lot more on these card readers. For instance, here's my Angelbird CFExpress Type B memory card reader. It cost me about £80–90 when I bought it, and it's fine. It's a bit bigger than the Manfrotto one and a bit heavier, also all metal construction. But one of the things that I really dislike about it is it has these very long USB-C cable connections, which means you can only really use specific or mostly Angelbird cables with it. Now, I find that really limiting. You can use other cables, but it's a bit of a pain to try and do. So as a result, I'm actually more fond of this than I am the more expensive Angelbird by a margin. That being said, the most important thing with a CFExpress Type B card reader is going to be the speed that they're able to perform at, because at the end of the day, that's what you're paying for. The main comparisons I've done to look at the performance of these cards has been to run speed tests of all the various CFExpress cards I own, which is 3 different types at the moment, and try and compare and contrast which is performing better. Now, the good news is that between the Angelbird and indeed the Manfrotto card readers, there was very little difference. In fact, on the Angelbird memory card, the 512GB AV Pro SE, I found that the speed was virtually identical within a couple of megabits per second, which means it's kind of margin for error at that point. You could run the test multiple times and you'd get roughly the same result within a couple of megabytes. So, you know, that's identical. What was interesting though, that on their own Manfrotto 128GB CFExpress Type B card, and please note there's a review of this coming separately as well, and on my Delkin 128GB CFExpress card, I actually saw slightly better performance on Manfrotto over the Angelbird by about 20 megabytes per second. So that's on Blackmagic Design's disk speed test software. So in addition to the Blackmagic Design disk speed test software, I also wanted to run Crystal Disk Mark 8 on my Dell PC as well. The results there were slightly inconclusive because I had a weird moment whereby both the Manfrotto and Delkin memory cards on the Angelbird card reader were pushing over 1,000 megabits a second read speed. And on the Manfrotto, they were closer to 600-700 megabits a second. Now, I couldn't replicate that, but I also had instances where the two cards were also getting 700 megabits a second on the Angelbird. So I'm going to go with probably not something that's wrong with the card readers, but more so something that's wrong with my laptop and Crystal Diskmark or the USB-C port I was using. I'm not 100% sure. It was very confusing. I swapped the cables around. I couldn't really find what it was causing it, right? But what I took away from it was that the write speeds were pretty much identical. And given that Blackmagic Design's software on my Mac was so accurate every time I ran the test, it was always within a couple of megabits of result, sorry, megabits, that I would say that the performance of both of these card readers is almost within a margin for error. And therefore, I would really pick up the Manfrotto over the Angelbird because it's half the price for pretty much the same performance. It's a bit smaller and a bit lighter, so easier to carry around. And I actually prefer the design of it too. So yeah, that's the Manfrotto Professional CFExpress Type B memory card reader. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the memory card review either. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I think that Manfrotto's done a good job here of producing a nice product. It does look a bit similar to some of the other card readers on the market, so I don't know if they're sort of rebranding someone else's or they've customized someone else's one, but you know, at the end of the day, they're selling it at a great price point and with a nice color scheme and with good performance. And that's pretty much all you can ask for these days. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this little review and unboxing useful. If you have any questions about the card reader or indeed CFExpress Type B memory cards in general, feel free to pop them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. I hope I see you again next time. Goodbye.